Thank you for coming back to another week of The Mandalorian, the finale of The Mandalorian Season 2. Here we are with Season 2, Episode 8, Chapter 16 of The Mandalorian, titled The Rescue. Yeah, we all knew this was happening, right? The episode where they were going to go get Grogu was leading up to this, and man, what an episode and what a finale this was. I have no idea where they're going to go with this show in the next season. We already know that the next season has been greenlit. The show is incredibly popular, and these characters are incredibly popular, so there's no way the show's ending anytime soon. But man, what a finale, what a final episode. Thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode opens up and we see Din, Cara Dune, Fennec Shand, Boba Fett are all in Slave One chasing down an Imperial ship that has Dr. Pershing in it, which is the guy who's part of the whole cloning that was, in the first episode or the first couple episodes of the first season, who was, kind of working with Grogu, trying to get his blood, trying to do something there. They do say in this episode that he's part of the cloning team, and so, yeah, they end up catching him. He kind of helps them find where Moff Gideon is, and Din ends up going to get Bo-Katan to join him to go and get Grogu, as well as getting the Darksaber, which has a very interesting kind of turnout as far as that story goes. And I thought they were going to end up trying to get Ahsoka as well, to just kind of have her team up, similar to what they did with the last season, where we had all these episodes with different characters that all teamed up at the end. I thought we would maybe see Grief Karga once again, played by Carl Weathers, but we did not. So yeah, Cara Dune, Fennec Shand, Din, Boba Fett, and now Bo-Katan are all going together to go and get Grogu from the light cruiser that Moff Gideon has, and yeah, they're gonna go save Grogu. And man, what an epic action-heavy episode. This episode was directed by Peyton Reed, who did the second episode, which was arguably my least favorite episode in this season. It's not a bad episode, but I think it was kind of just like the most simple episode that didn't have as much plot, whereas the rest of the episodes in this season had a lot of heavy plot and story elements, and that second episode was more of a chill kind of action episode. So yeah, to see Peyton Reed come back to be able to give us such a great finale to this season, arguably one of my favorite episodes in the entire show. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Once they get to the ship, it's just badass action left and right. I thought Boba Fett was actually going to join them on the ship, but he ends up just kind of helping them in the outside space battle portion of it, and then he ends up taking off into light speed. So yeah, we don't get to see him too much into the episode, which is a bit of a bummer, but there is some great time spent with Boba Fett at the beginning of the episode. I really do look forward to seeing how they trickle in Boba Fett into future series. We do know that there's rumors of him being in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and I have to imagine after the excitement that the fans have had with Tamura Morrison coming back to play him in this series, that they're going to do more with Boba Fett as time goes on. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, once they get on the ship, it's just badass action. There's some great moments with the Dark Troopers, and just thoroughly enjoyed this episode on almost every single level. The visuals were fantastic on both the practical and digital level. The action was well choreographed and was just fun to watch. This is just an engaging, swashbuckling Star Wars episode. Thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Really enjoyed Giancarlo Esposito's character of Moff Gideon, and him and Din fighting with the lightsaber or the Darksaber, and the Beskar staff that he got from Ahsoka a few episodes prior. Like I said, I almost thought Ahsoka maybe would have joined them in this battle, but they didn't go with that, so it is a one-off episode. It feels very much now like Ahsoka's appearance was solely for kind of a spin-off purpose, just to kind of show us Rosario Dawson as this character and kind of set up the fact that there is going to be this spin-off. But man, yeah, outside of that, this episode was just action-packed, and it gave us that great emotional finality to the story of Din and the child, Grogu, Baby Yoda, as many people are still calling him. And yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed the way this episode wrapped up. A lot of people, talked to me across the weeks as this show was coming on, and there was a lot of things that you would see online, a lot of theories, and everybody was assuming that the Jedi that was being called from the Seeing Stone, I believe is what it's called, by Grogu was going to be Luke Skywalker or Ezra Bridger or a few others, but Luke Skywalker being the main one. A lot of people were talking about Sebastian Stan coming to play the character, and as much as I love Sebastian Stan, I really didn't want that. Not because I don't like him as an actor, but just because I'd rather them do what they ended up doing in this episode, which is kind of CG de-aging Mark Hamill's face. Now, what I will say is that it looked a little cartoony at times, but at the very end of the episode, when I saw that X-Wing come in and they kind of make a note of the fact that it's one X-Wing, I knew right there, I go, oh, it's Luke. And everybody, I think, as a Star Wars fan, was watching this thinking, oh my god, they're actually doing this. So we get to see this epic badass action sequence of Luke Skywalker with his hood over his head, just whooping every Dark Trooper's ass all the way up to the bridge where Din, Cara Dune, Fennec Shand, and everybody else are all holding Moff Gideon prisoner. Moff Gideon tries to off himself, which does not work out, so he's still alive, he's still part of the story. And before Luke got there, there was the tension around the fact that because of the fact that Din actually got the Darksaber from Moff Gideon in battle, he can't just go ahead and hand it over to Bo-Katan. She actually has to win it from him in duel. So yeah, I really look forward to seeing how they play off of that in the future episodes. He was just trying to give it to her, but she kind of has, you know, this pride about it, and, you know, being a pure Mandalorian, she doesn't want to just take it. She knows kind of the story behind it, the legacy behind the saber, and kind of what's needed to really feel like you earn the saber. So I am curious to see where they take that. But yeah, this episode wraps up with Luke Skywalker showing up. We get a CG de-aged Luke. It was a little cartoony at times. It did kind of stand out, but I prefer them do that than have another actor in there that just clearly does not look like Mark Hamill, or at least doesn't look like Mark Hamill enough, in my opinion. Thoroughly enjoyed seeing Luke come in there with that badass action. Easily some of the best live action Luke action that we've ever seen, and thoroughly just enjoyed the emotional moment at the end where Din is giving Grogu to Luke, and Din ends up taking off his helmet, and we get to see him kind of have like a smirk at one moment, and the emotion, the weight behind the bond between these two characters, Grogu and Din, across these 2 seasons has been great. So I was really feeling it emotionally, and then we get to see R2-D2 show up at the end there. So this episode was jam-packed with nostalgia for longtime Star Wars fans, as well as a really great story, and it ended it in a very just kind of, this is where the story's ending kind of way. Grogu goes with Luke Skywalker, and that's it. We get to see that Din and Bo-Katan and Cara Dune, everybody is still there with Moff Gideon unconscious, and that's kind of where they've set us up for season 3. We have to wait a year now. I can't believe it. I cannot wait to see what they end up doing with the next season of the show. It's just such a great time to be a Star Wars fan. You know, being a longtime Star Wars fan, I'm sure so many of you can appreciate and agree with this, that it's just great to see where we are with Star Wars. A lot of people have criticized some of the things that have been released, and at the end of the day, not everything is going to work for every Star Wars fan all the time. With a universe like this that has books and comics and movies and TV shows, some of those stories are not going to work for you. But man, I'm just so happy to be alive right now and be able to partake in all this Star Wars and be able to be part of the conversation every week. And yeah, I can't believe that this season is already over. It feels like we just started this season. It feels like it was just the other day that I was just completely going crazy about Boba Fett showing up at the very end of that first episode. And here we are with the final episode. It's been 8 weeks already, and I've had a great time watching this show. I look forward to revisiting the season, revisiting the show leading up to the 3rd season. And yeah, in about a month from now, we have the first of the Marvel Disney Plus series coming out with WandaVision. So I'm going to be doing the spoiler episode reviews just like this as we move forward. But a big thanks to you guys for being along for the ride for The Mandalorian Season 2 here on the channel. I've had a lot of fun talking to you guys in the comments, and so I'm very curious as to what you guys thought about this finale. Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? How did you feel about Luke Skywalker showing up? Did you enjoy having it more be a de-aged CG face of Mark Hamill, or would you have preferred to have seen somebody like Sebastian Stan? I personally loved it for continuity's sake that it was Mark Hamill's face. I feel like that was the only way that really made sense to me, and though it was a little CG at times and it was noticeable, it didn't take me out of it at all. So thoroughly enjoyed the episode, had a great time with this season. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's next, and can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. So hit that like button, comment your thoughts, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.